In our first map, we identified the external habits that rot your intelligence. But today, we're going deeper into the internal gears. Most people hit a cognitive ceiling, a level of intelligence they never move past. Not because they aren't capable, but because their internal map is locked. If you feel like you're working hard but your thinking feels cloudy or stagnant, you aren't stuck. You're just operating on a limited blueprint. Let's redraw the next 5 branches of the mind. Chapter 6. Intellectual Arrogance. The most dangerous state for a human brain is thinking it is finished. Intellectual arrogance is the habit of closing your map before you've actually explored the terrain. Psychology calls this the end-of-history illusion. We believe we have changed significantly in the past, but we won't change much in the future. Visual. Draw a telescope being folded up. When you stop saying, I don't know, your brain physically stops building new neural pathways. You aren't being confident, you're becoming a fossil. The experiment. Spend 10 minutes today looking at a topic you dislike or disagree with. Try to find one logical reason why someone else might believe it. Protect the beginner's mind. Chapter 7. The Consumption Trap. We live in an era of information obesity. This habit is the illusion of competence, where you spend hours watching educational content but 0 minutes applying it. Your brain releases dopamine when you learn something new, tricking you into feeling like you've made progress. But without output, whether that's writing, building, or teaching, that information never moves into your long-term memory. It just rots. Visual. Draw a brain with a leaky bucket icon. If you can't explain a concept to a child, you haven't learned it. You've just borrowed the feeling of learning. Information that isn't used is treated by the brain as noise and is pruned away within 48 hours. This is why you can watch 100 documentaries and still feel like you're going nowhere. For every hour of input, your mental map requires a period of active reflection. Without output, writing, building, or speaking, your brain is just a library where all the books are blank. Chapter 8. The Comfort Loop. Your brain is biologically wired to save energy, which means it craves the familiar. The comfort loop is the habit of only engaging with ideas that confirm what you already believe. It's the mental equivalent of walking the same path in the woods until it becomes a deep, inescapable trench. However, neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to physically rewire itself, only happens during cognitive friction. That feeling of being confused, frustrated, or even slightly embarrassed by a new topic is actually the sound of your brain expanding. If your intellectual life feels easy, you aren't growing. You're just walking in circles on an old map. High intelligence is forged in the heat of difficult, contradictory, and uncomfortable concepts. Seek the friction, because ease is the precursor to decay. Chapter 9. Decision Fatigue. Every choice you make, from the color of your shoes to the first notification you click, costs a cognitive tax. By mid-afternoon, most people have spent their highest mental energy on junk decisions. This is decision fatigue. When your IQ battery is drained by trivialities, you lose the ability to perform deep work or solve complex problems. This is why the world's most effective minds automate the mundane. They don't waste willpower on what to eat or what to wear. They save that finite resource for the map that matters. If you find yourself making poor choices in the evening, it's not a lack of character, it's a lack of cognitive fuel. Intelligence is as much about energy management and strategic simplicity as it is about pure logic. Protect your morning energy like your life depends on it. Completing the map. You cannot build a high-level mind on a foundation of sand. These 5 internal habits work in tandem with the 5 external habits we covered in our first deep dive. If you missed those, including the silence panic and the sleep neglect trap, your blueprint is incomplete. You are only seeing half of the territory. Click here to watch part 1 and finish redrawing your mind. Don't just watch. Think. Simple Mind Lab. Subscribe to Redraw Your Map.